Hey guys, spiritual whistleblower here with another video on narcissistic abuse. And I got to promote these next two upcoming events. I will be in Toronto, Canada, Saturday, September 24th. I have already begun selling tickets. We're going to be at the Dufferin Grove Comedy Theater for my Canadians, and this will be my first time, and I can't wait to come to Toronto. I am super excited. Get your tickets now. They're only $27. 27 Canadian dollars, that is. Houston, Texas, that will be the last stop on my tour. Saturday, October 1st, I will be in Houston, Texas. I'm selling tickets now, and please remember, ladies, October will be the kickoff, October 1st, for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You guys do know that October is officially, in the United States, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I think, somebody correct me, I think sickle cell anemia awareness. I could be wrong on that one, but definitely breast cancer awareness and domestic violence, two very important causes and platforms that we equally need to place emphasis and awareness on. And I don't play about both of them, because women who get breast cancer, 9 times out of 10, were in abusive relationships. When you deal with a narcissist, the emotional distress will break your body down. That's why the rate of breast cancer is so high, because the root of the stress that's causing the cancer comes from abusive relationships. Okay? Don't get me started on that, because it's the damage alone and what it does to a woman's body: autoimmune disease, thyroid, high blood pressure, heart issues, stroke. Did I say fibroids? All types of cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer. You know, it does a number on the body besides stress, PTSD. So breast cancer, and you want to know why this is just my opinion, there's so many, the rate of breast cancer is alarmingly high, women dying. Look at the root. It's always a man. It's a man. Or she's carrying the stress of the family. It's stress related. So I got those two events, y'all. Get the tickets. My email's down below, chanelljasmine@gmail.com. Today I'm going to continue talking about narcissistic friends. I'm just helping y'all, because I never talk about it. I talk about family. I talk about in-laws. I talk about relationships. And people be telling me, please, can you do more content? And I got my own situations, too, that I can tie it in to make this shit relatable. So I definitely... I'm going to continue talking about narcissistic friends and how you can detect this behavior early, because you don't need, these types of friends are dangerous, because there's the stunts and the shit that they pull. They do it very sneakily. They do it very gradually, and they do it in little tiny doses, so you don't catch on right away. So you really have to pay attention, especially to your intuition, in order to catch this behavior. So in this video, I want to talk about when the narcissistic friend, they will do something. This is one of the many ways that they will abuse you. And this has happened to me numerous times. And I'm going to talk about the most recent instant when it happened. And I'll let y'all, let's get in the comments, because when y'all post comments, your comments help other people going through this shit. It's healing to just read that other people's stuff. You're not the only person going through this. We can all work together to heal each other as a community. So what do I mean by crippling? Narcissists are sadistic. They're sadists, number one. They have this thing, and I don't care who the narcissist is in your life. It could be your mother, your father. Sorry about the background noise. This is New York City. I'm out jogging early in the morning. When I get done talking to y'all, I'm going to go back to working out. Mother, father, it could be your siblings, it could be your coworkers, your boss. I've been in situations where it was workplace related, and my boss tried to cripple me. Definitely your lover. It is quite often in a romantic relationship that your lover and his mother and family members will work together collectively to isolate you, and that's to cripple you. They want to cripple you financially. They want to cripple you from having other resources. They want you completely dependent on them so that the abuse can continue, and they can condition and program you to tolerate their abuse. So they feel that by crippling you, that you'll always be dependent on them and you have nowhere to go. You'll have to beg them or rely on them or stay latched onto them if they cripple you. Well, I want to talk about this behavior in toxic friendships. Because when you have a narcissistic friend, the friendship's always going to start off great. They're going to be on their best behavior in the very beginning. But when they start to get comfortable and they feel like their spot in their position is secure and they ain't going nowhere because you trust them, when they feel like you have 100% trust in them, that's when they start slipping up. And their real true selves, it'll slip up. You got to pay attention to catch it. And one of the ways is by crippling you financially, to make you look foolish, to humiliate you. And they also do this so they can have something to gossip about amongst their friends and their peers and their family. They're great gossipers, very two-faced. So if they put you in a situation where they cripple you financially and you feel isolated, you feel vulnerable, you feel insecure, you don't feel safe around them, that's deliberate. And I've had this happen. My mother did this to me. My ex-boyfriend did this to me. I almost ended up damn near homeless. They'll put you out on the streets and make you homeless just so you can go crying, running back to them, and you're now relying on them for help. They deliberately do that shit. They deliberately will cripple you. They'll sit there with a sadistic smirk on their face, watching you, squiggle and squirm and try to get back on your feet and dust yourself off. They'll sit there like, yeah, I did that. I did that shit. Aha, look at you. You look stupid now. That's what they're saying in their heads. They're laughing at your suffering. That's why they deliberately set you up to fail. They set you up they'll cripple you. Then they go back and talk about it. Oh, Chanel's homeless. Chanel lost her job. They're the cause of you losing your job. They're the cause of you being homeless. They're the cause of your bank account being in the negative. But they're not telling people that. They're the cause of your embarrassment, shame, and humiliation. Now they're sitting up gossiping and they always got to have a story to tell. They love gossip. They always got to have something to talk about to their friends and family. Because, they've got to be the center of attention. Oh, let me tell you what happened to Chanel. Let me tell you, this happened and that happened. They're great storytellers. Especially if it keeps the focus and attention off of them and it's to point out somebody else's motherfucking flaws. They love talking about other people's flaws. If a toxic narcissistic friend cripples you, I'm going to give you an example. And this happened to me recently on vacation. And the shit was really, in my opinion, I think it was mean-spirited. And it was very telling. Never judge somebody off the behavior that they present when everybody's around. They're always going to be on their best behavior when there's a crowd of people around, a group of people, a group of friends, family. They're on their best behavior. It is when you get them alone, one-on-one, that they'll start showing you who they are. Real quickly, and y'all can give me y'all opinion because my mind is set on this. Nobody can sway me on how I feel about this individual. He moved like a snake to me. And he did this when nobody was around. Now and this is a mutual friend. Now, an ex-friend. I don't claim him as a friend. Now, when he's around the group, he's on his best behavior. He's gay. He's on his best behavior. He's a gentleman. He's always putting down toxic black men. He's never like them. I'm not like them. I'm classy. I'm etiquette. I'm bougie. He compares himself as the better black man. He's not like the dusty black man, right? But when it comes down to character, he slipped up and messed up with me because I don't judge you on what you present. I don't care how well dressed you are. Who is this singing in the streets? It's always like, this is New York, D. This is early in the fucking morning. Do you hear me? This is the whole purpose of me doing a video early in the morning, because this is the most quietest it'll ever be on a typical New York City day. No. He's singing in Spanish, and he's got on a cowboy hat walking the streets. Stop me. Please, I don't want him to come over here. Okay. He walked past. Lord have mercy. Where was I? Back to the friend story. So he's somebody that he claims he's so bougie. He has all this class, all this etiquette. He's well dressed. He's nothing like the toxic black men out here, gay or straight. That's how he presents himself. But a part of the image thing, I don't buy image. I don't care what you say. I never listen to people's words. I watch how people, their actions, their behavior. So he slipped with me. When we were on vacation, this was recently, we went to Hawaii. It was a group of us, 5 of us. He's the only male in the group. The rest are women, but he's gay, like I said. And we're in Kona, and we're flying to Honolulu for the day to celebrate my girlfriend's birthday. And we spent a week. This was the last day of the trip. And what I decided to do, instead of flying back to Kona with them after spending a day in Honolulu, I stayed in Honolulu and I flew straight to LA, Los Angeles from Honolulu. So I had to bring my luggage with me to check the luggage, because I wasn't coming back with them. They after we spent the day in Honolulu, they left to go back to Kona for the day. After the day was finished, excuse me. I stayed in Honolulu. I flew to LA. So I had to check my luggage. We're running late. I mean, late, down to the wire where we almost missed the flight. He's carrying my luggage, we're rolling it, and the other girls, they went through the gate. We'll catch up, y'all go. I got to check my bag. We get to the counter, and it's $25 to check my piece of luggage. I give the lady my bank card, and she swipes it, and she says, oh, it didn't go through. And I said, that can't be right. No, you're doing something wrong. Then she kept swiping. She swiped it about 3 more times. She said, no. So I said, cash? I said, is there an ATM around? She said, yeah, it's over there. And she seemed like she was slow. I don't know. She was a much older lady. Maybe it was her first day, but it didn't appear like she knew what she was doing. I go over to the ATM to make sure my card is functioning. All the money is there in both my accounts. I have plenty of money. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go back to the counter, and she's like, oh, by the way, you can take cash out and transfer it to the kiosk, the machine, and it gets you a temporary card and pay for it through the kiosk. I'm like, we're running late. The plane is, we got to get there. He's standing there with me, and you should see the look on his face. He has this look of confusion, like, don't look at me, I'm not going to pay. His eyes were all big and like a deer in the headlights. And the look on his face was like, well, don't look at me. I ain't got the money. I'm not going to pay for it. You don't have $25? Mr. makes six. He goes around bragging that he makes 6 figures at Google. So I'm like, the math is not mathing. Something is not adding up. So he runs and he goes and gets my girlfriend. It's her birthday. The last thing I wanted to do was bother her. I told her, I said, just go. I'll catch up to y'all later. I'll do this. If I'm late and I got to catch another flight, I'll do that. Go. Just go. And he ran and he told her. And she was like, why didn't you pay for it? You just left her standing there? So she came over. She used her credit card, paid for my luggage fee. And right then and there, as she was paying, I cash apped her right back immediately. I gave her the 25 right back immediately. So I'm just looking at him like, you didn't have $25. We're running fucking late. We're about to miss the flight. You couldn't swipe me, get me through so we could get caught up with everybody? No, he had to run and go tell my girlfriend about it. So I'm already feeling humiliated. It's a very short flight. We get from Kona to Honolulu in about 40 minutes. We're flying to the other side of Hawaii. We land in Honolulu. So when we get there, I have to check my luggage in the storage so that they can hold it all day, because my flight is not till later the evening. So my card is working fine. The rest of the day, I had no issues with my card. I paid for everything, bought my food and stuff. The lady fucked up. I think she locked my card. When you keep swiping, your bank's going to think that somebody is misusing your card. They're going to think fraud, and they're going to lock your card up. And that's and the money came off. I got charged the $25. When I checked my statement, the $25 did actually come off. She locked my card up when she kept swiping it, and that's what happened. Because I had money in Hawaii. I was good in Hawaii. So that wasn't an issue. So anyway, we get to Honolulu. I'm checking my bag in the storage. And then we're all huddling in a group trying to figure out what our plans are going to be for the day. So we're there super early. It's like 8 a.m. So my girlfriend, since it was her birthday, she was like, we're going to have breakfast. So she said, let me book our Uber. I'm going to get us an Uber, and we're going to go straight to breakfast. You know what he says, Mr. The Mr. So-called, I can't pay your $25 luggage fee. I'm gonna pay for the Uber coming back. And I'm standing there confused, like, motherfucker, you didn't have no money back. You couldn't help me with $25, but you're now that we're in front of the whole group and you want to look like Mr. Etiquette with integrity, you're now being a gentleman and offering to pay the Uber coming back. The math is not mathing. I'm sitting there like, what? Anyway, we go to breakfast. Breakfast was another $25, $30. He paid for his breakfast, and I'm sitting there again, but you didn't have money to help me check my bag back then. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, you offered Uber and you're sitting here eating breakfast? So you had the money. You just made a concrete decision to say, fuck you, I'm not helping you. What other reason could there be? You make six figures. Why the fuck are you traveling and vacation if your money is not right? We had several months to plan for this vacation, but you're acting like a fucking cheapskate, a broke bum on this trip? When we're alone, you switch up, but then when you get around a group of people, all of a sudden you're a gentleman and you're offering to pay for shit? The math is not mathing. This is what I feel. I feel like in that moment where we're running late, he found some sort of pleasure in exposing me to my friends. Oh, Chanel's card got declined. Chanel's the reason we got held up. He needed a story to tell because he had the money to pay that baggage. He did. He chose not to. And I said, I cannot ever fuck. And I was going to buy his plane ticket back home. I was going to fly him to LA with me because I had the money and then pay for him to go back to Atlanta. That little bit of moments, like God, that needed to happen. I know it was embarrassing, but God, that moment needed to happen for me to see his character when nobody was fucking looking. And a few months ago, I'm not going to get into it, but there was another incident where he came up short financially and I covered for him and I never said nothing to nobody about it. So that's what I mean by crippling. Pay attention because a real friend got your back. They're not going to want to expose you, humiliate you, or make you look dumb to everybody else. And that's exactly what he did. I stand firm on that. When someone does this to you, get away from them because it's mean-spirited and it's sadistic. And it's not the behavior of a real friend. A real friend's going to fucking cover, they got your back. And they're not going to tell people about it. This is between me and you. I don't want you out here looking like a fool. And I covered for him several months ago. I'm not going to get into it, but he came up real short financially. And I covered for him. And I never told the other group of friends about it because I don't get down like that. But when the shoe was on the other foot, it was like God shined a light. His face was like, well, don't look at me. I'm not going to pay the $25. And I guess his reasoning was, oh, my money's tied up or whatever lousy excuse he gave or whatever. Your money wasn't tied up. You made a decision to make the spiritual whistleblower look foolish to the rest of the group and hold up the flight. We're already running late. So now he has a story to tell everybody. But the reality is the other women, They're not like that. They're not going to laugh at me or want to sit up and gossip negative about me just because my card got declined. So it backfired. So stay away from toxic friends who find joy in your embarrassment and they want to cripple you when nobody's looking. It's little shit like that. You cannot skip over or let that shit go over your head. Because that's the real behavior when don't pay attention to how they behave when they're around a group of people. It's when nobody's looking that they're going to fucking test you, your boundaries, and they're going to see how much they can get away with disrespecting you quietly. And on that note, it's been the Spiritual Whistleblower, Toronto and Houston. Get at me for tickets. I love y'all. Spiritual Whistleblower.